Good morning and welcome to What Is It Wednesday. We are very excited to be able to reveal last week's Trivia Tuesday artifact. So many of you put in your guesses and many of those guesses were the same. I think our most popular guess was that this was for a clock mechanism, like a wind up for a clock face. There were a few guesses that this was part of some other wind-up machinery. Well, all of you are right in some sense. This is a wind-up mechanism, but this wind-up mechanism is for a toy. And it is not just any toy. It is our favorite toy and one of our most prized possessions here at the Barnes Museum. It is the Ferris Wheel. Now, this Ferris Wheel we've done a little bit of research on over the years, and this is supposed to be from the Hubley Manufacturing Company. The Hubley Manufacturing Company was out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Mr. Hubley founded the company, John Hubley did, in 1894. Now, what's interesting about that date is that we know that this Ferris wheel dates to the year before, 1893. So if in fact this is a Hubley toy, it is a very, very early Hubley toy. How do we know that this dates to 1893 so specifically? Well, we're going to go back to those diaries again, folks, because right here you can see that we've blown up a diary entry from Bradley Barnes himself, from Christmas Day of December 25th, of course, 1893. And he says, I hung up my stockings and found them well filled this morning with fruit, candy, nuts, presents. He listed a whole bunch of other items. And then he says that Mama and Papa gave me a Ferris wheel that winds up. And that is this Ferris wheel. 1893 does make sense for that date because the Ferris wheel, the very first Ferris wheel, was created in 1893. The Ferris wheel was built by George Ferris Jr. to be the centerpiece of the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. That's the World's Fair. And it was designed because to be the showcase because in 1889, just a few years previous to that date, the World's Fair was in Paris, France, and the centerpiece for that show was none other than the Eiffel Tower. So this piece was meant to be the showcase for it. And it attracted everyone from all over the world. So this toy right here is meant, you can see the little people in it. We've got their little hats on and they're swinging around. You could see very well-loved toy. The mechanism in the back you would wind that metal piece a little tight, and then it would slowly loosen and it would move that chain up and down, which would move the wheel slowly. The last time we tried this, it did work. However, we don't like to try it very often, so unfortunately I won't be able to give you a demonstration of how it works, but you can imagine those toys rocking back and forth, the carriages rather, rocking back and forth. We do have several Hubley toys that we definitely know to be Hubleys around the house, so it also doesn't surprise us, excuse me, that this could be a Hubley toy. However, again, 1893, the Chicago World's Fair went from May 1st of that year through October 30th. So for Bradley to get this gift just a short 2 months later after the World's Fair was closed would be quite a manufacturing feat as well. So always a mystery here at the Barnes Museum. If any of you are toy experts and have a little bit more information about it, please let us know. We do as much research as we possibly can on these items, but are always excited to hear experts in the field give us a little bit more information to complete our collection. Now let's go back to the original Ferris wheel that was at the World's Fair. The original Ferris wheel, again, was erected and stayed all of the months of the World's Fair, and then it was taken down. It was dismantled and then rebuilt in Lincoln Park in Chicago in 1895. It stayed there for a few years, and then it was dismantled again and it went to the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. So the original Ferris wheel got moved a lot, several times. After the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, it was ultimately demolished, and it was demolished in a fanfare. They literally blew it up with a controlled demolition using dynamite. So the original Ferris wheel no longer exists. It went up in a big explosion in 1906 after the World's Fair was over for a little bit of time in St. Louis. But this is one of our favorite toys. This is the Ferris wheel that, again, we believe is from the Hubley Manufacturing Company out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to scroll out so you can see a few other toys. The cast iron toys that we have in the house, again, were all Bradley's. These two cast iron fire trucks and are, again, believed to be Hubley toys. We have some more board games in the back there. We have some jacks. Some of these toys may have looked familiar to you if you've tuned into What Is It Wednesday from our earliest episodes. We did have some of these toys explained on one of our first episodes of What Is It Wednesday. But then we have the beautiful ship over here called the Terror. And this Terror ship is very light. It is almost made of like a balsam wood and paper. And the sails are no longer with it, but other than that, it's pretty much in pristine condition. You can see the sailors on the boat are standing throughout. And this boat is an exact replica of a ship that would go up and down the eastern seaboard. So thank you so much for joining us for What Is It Wednesday, and for all of you engaging and guessing in our Trivia Tuesdays each week. Next week, we have something very special for you, so make sure to tune in. We are going on location next week for What Is It Wednesday, and I think you're all in for a big treat. So here is the Ferris wheel from 1893, a Christmas gift given to Bradley, and we hope you all have an enjoyable, wonderful Wednesday. See you next week.